Are you really sure?
You can see the smile on my face right now. All of us shot our heads towards the doors, finally pinning down the direction of the voice. The doors quickly swung open, revealing a sight I would have never expected to see. Skin red as blood, eyes black and gold piercing into mine, roughened up clothes and a pistol in his hand. I saw a monster. Wait, does he actually have a pistol in his hand? Wait. How do you... Prefs? No. There's like a way you can like, is it tab? Ah!
What?
I forgot tab,
Oh, what's the matter, boys? You really didn't think I
No!
would find you, did you?
Hold on. You can only go back so far. I feel bad now. I went way too far back. Oh well. I don't want to reload a save and go through all of that again.
I hoped you would, you piece of...
All of a sudden, the man raised his gun at Sam's face and instantly pulled the trigger. We all gasped in shock. Sorry, hold on. There we go. Instinctively expecting to see a bullet run through Sam's face, but unfortunately he survived.
What the fuck?
What?
What should have been a headshot ended with a loud but empty blank shot. The pistol echoed its empty shots as the man grew more and more pissed, pulling the trigger over and over in aggravation. I was trying to get that entire line out before the burp came. I felt it, and I was like, I can just get this one line out, it'll be fine, and it didn't happen! Luckily for my ears, it became quieter after its first shot.
Why the fuck won't you work?
This place is protected.
What did you say, Shrimp?
This place has a seal, protecting it from hellborn magic.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Ah!
The man growled and threw his gun at Sam, who was able to dodge it in time. The pistol bounced off the ground a couple of times before sliding further away, hitting the wall in a final stop. As it stopped moving, the gun faded into black flame that disappeared into the air.
The previous owner had this place protected by magic, Malix.
Malix. That was his name. His existence resonated in my memory from the dream I had. However, I looked to Matthew in the same confusion as Malix did. Place is protected by magic?
It would seem that your grandfather had some sort of protective barrier around this house. From the looks of it, it only disables hellborn magic.
Well, that's unfortunate, considering it'd be nice if you guys could stop sexually assaulting me! Malix's face grew to that of extreme anger, his fist tightening as if he was crushing a stress ball.
Then what's stopping me from dragging your asses out and shooting you then?
Out of pure instinct, I stepped forward and placed myself between Malix and the boys. With no power, Malix wasn't going to fight. I took that chance to stand up to him instead of being powerless like I was in the dream. Get out of my house! Malix growled at me, walking right up to me and leaning close to my face. I glared back, feeling my courage skyrocket.
Since when does a little stain like you give orders to a guy who can rip your pretty little head from your body?
You really don't think, do you? If you kill me, you'd be hunted down by more than just the police.
You little...
How do you know that he doesn't know how to get rid of a body? I don't know what I hit, but I hit something. I didn't know which one to pick. All of a sudden, I felt a hand grip my hair and pull it back, forcing me to cry out and stare up at Malix. His eyes bored into mine as he cackled in my face.
Hey, let her go!
Sam! Eric!
So much for being, like, independent or whatever. Within mere seconds, Sam had punched Malix square in the jaw, forcing him to let my hair go. As I fumbled back, Eric caught me in his arms, gently pulling me away from Alex and back into the group.
Come on, Sam. You and me. Right here. Let's go.
I need to look up who Malix's voice actor is, because they clearly, like, they just loved, they had to have loved every minute voicing this character. Like, it's so freaking ridiculous. I love it. Ah! I need to look up a lot of the voice actors. I want to know what they're doing now, because I actually knew one of them back in my Tumblr days. Back in, like, God, 2013, 2014. I'm gonna say 2014. That sounds more accurate.
Come on, asswipe!
God, that was such a long time ago. Oh my God, 2014 was 5 years ago. What? Oh my God. Is this what being an adult is? Just like trying to remember something and being like, oh, it was like a couple of years ago, and then you think about it and you're like, that was like a long time ago. However, before both could fight, the woman stepped forward and placed a firm grip on Malix's shoulder. Viewer, last year when I streamed this, I had a girl who claimed to know the whole cast. I mean, it's possible. I don't recognize some of the voice actors, but there's a couple that sound familiar, and I don't know where I'm recognizing them from, but Damien's voice actor specifically is the one that I know. I remember he, like, stepped away from doing, like, sexual commissions and stuff because he didn't want his entire portfolio in his voice acting career to be just full of, like, raunchy stuff and dating sims and all that. So I have no idea what he's doing now, but I wouldn't say it's impossible to know the whole cast. I don't know how many voice actors were part of this thing, but there seems to be a decent amount of them. But I don't know much about the project. I've heard a little bit more about how it kind of went pear-shaped, and that's why the game's not great, because apparently a bunch of issues happened with resources and funding, but that's a big mystery. So who knows? Maybe that girl did know the whole cast. Maybe they're just bullshitting you. I don't know, man.
That's enough, Malix.
What? Who do you think you're speaking to, woman?
The girl who's going to help you kill them. Just not now.
I wish she was a romanceable character. Like, Diana's great and all, but
Not now.
that navel. I stared as the girl spoke down at Malix. She looked the same, just like pure evil. However, she seemed to be concerned for Malix. Or for me.
There's 5 of them and 2 of us. Even if we come back with the gang, they can have the place surrounded by human police.
Then we shoot everyone!
Think! If we shoot everyone, we'll be hunted. And it'll be a matter of time before makeshift paladins come and try to exorcise us.
Ugh.
The two growled at each other. If they could have used their magic, I could sense that fire would glow from under their teeth. How does Slappy know that fire would glow from under their teeth? God, she's so precious. Malix grunted and glared at the boys. He pointed at James, wanting so badly to use his fingers like a knife.
Just wait, pretty boys. We'll get you and fuck you up real good.
Just the best voice acting in this entire game. Viewer, that naval, the British Navy commander about the Spanish Navy? What? I don't know anything about history, but I think I understand the joke. Then Then Malix turned to me, moving his finger to point directly between my eyes.
And don't think you're safe. Step outside. I dare you.
With that, Malix and the woman walked out of the mansion. The doors closed behind them, leaving the boys and I alone once again. I felt my knees give out from under me, forcing the boys to quickly turn to catch me.
Whoa, whoa! Are you alright?
No! Why was he here?
He's been closely tracking us. Our blood trail from the forest must have led him here.
Spain had the biggest navy in the world for quite a long time. Oh. Well, then how did the British occupy most of the world?
We should have stopped him and finished it here.
For once, Matthew, I agree with you.
I stood up and rubbed my arms, feeling the goosebumps Malix left behind on me. I couldn't stop myself from shivering in fear of his words. Malix, was he a demon?
That son of a bitch is not a demon. He's a devil.
And on that amazing bit of exposition, we're gonna save. And it's been 4 hours. So it is time for another break. Not much to say. Gonna be 15 or 20 minutes. You have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. So get up, stretch, have a drink, have a snack, pet your pets for me, and I will be back soon. Alright. And I am back. I had a lot of these nasty Cheerios, and I don't know why I keep eating them. They're so gross. But I can't. I don't know what. Toasted O's or cocaine or something. I don't know. Thank you, viewer. I think that break lasted, again, about 15 minutes. I don't think I'm going to need a really long break until we get into, like, the 10-plus hour mark. So, hopefully it was still enough time for any of you lovely people to do any of the lovely things you need to do in between, but... I'm in so much pain, but I couldn't find naproxen anywhere in the house, and the only pain medication I have is Tylenol PM, and guess what? We're not taking that. So, just in case anybody new is in, we just had a house party, and it went great, but we met the demon, monster, devil. Sorry, he's a devil. Apparently that's a difference we're learning. Crashed in right after the party ended, threatened our boys, threatened me, and now we're realizing that our life sucks. And surprises, 3 days in a row, haven't killed us, but maybe 4 will.
Yes, demons come from a different plane of existence called the Abyssal Planes. Devils, however, come from one of the 7 circles of a place humans know as hell. Despite us not being human, we are very different creatures.
We actually have brains, for one. Devils always like to cause trouble and try to kill or torture others for their own enjoyment. Demons, like us, know when to use our powers and when not to. We're not stupid.
Oh, I beg to differ, Sam. Christ on a cracker! We know when to use our powers and when not to. No, you don't! You have no sense of boundaries whatsoever.
Devils follow orders from higher-ups in their order, and their power only comes from their connection to hell. Demons all have free wills and don't rely on where they came from to use their powers.
This was all so confusing. Demons and devils and magic all existed, and I happened to be not in the middle of it because, you know, the universe doesn't revolve around us, but we're learning. What do we do?
You're safe. You've been protected as well.
I'm glad you guys waited until now to tell me.
What Damien's saying is that the magic that protects this place also protects you.
Your grandfather must have cast it when you last saw him or something of that nature. We can sense its aura around your body.
And you didn't think to tell me until now. One moment. I couldn't believe my ears! It was the 3rd day of surprises, and this one took the cake in being the most surprising. Even though I feel like our grandpappy dying should probably take the cake, considering he's apparently our only family member that has ever treated us as more than, trash! What did I get myself into?
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
Just suck their dicks. Just suck them all off and get them out the door.
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
Alright, cool. What about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
About that. I felt somewhat relieved that I was mostly safe from Malix. Still, I could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger, but what if Malix did the same? See, alright, you gotta give this game credit. In almost every story, like any story with an adversary, the protagonist is like, I'm gonna train and get stronger. But they almost never mention the fact that the adversary can do the exact same thing. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna get stronger, but which I guess you could say, you know, maybe the adversary doesn't get stronger because they think they're awesome and all-powerful. And it's like, no, that just doesn't make sense. Especially in stories with, like, dictators or, I don't know, things like that. It's like, why would they stop trying to get more power? Like, are you trying to tell me that you can get more power than them faster? Whatever. Props to this game. They do some things right, okay? Even more so, I was lost about how my grandfather knew about magic. I had to find out. At least I had time. I went to bed that night feeling nervous. Despite the words of the incubi, I felt like a target to something I'd never be able to explain or prove. Magic? Devils? Demons? How did all this even happen? Should I really meddle with the situation any more than we already have? Because we've already harbored these people and got in the middle of their weird feud? They're only staying until after they defeat Malix. It's fine. Completely fine. That's right. They said they'd only stay until after they defeated Malix. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporary insanity, as Kay would say. The question was then, would I want them to leave? Yes, very much so. If my life went back to normal, then I'd have to care for the house all on my own. I'd get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to. My life. Where was my life going, anyway? I was under pressure from my parents with only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I'd have no way to hide from my responsibilities. Enough. Let's just sleep and deal with tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it.
I promise to be with you forever.
See, okay, I'm going to let all of these go past, and I'm going to say every character whose voice I think it is, and you tell me if you see a problem with it. That was Naomi.
You're so important to me.
That was Suzu.
I swear I'll give my life to you.
James.
Please, let me love you.
Eric.
I'll be by your side, always.
Sam.
I can't imagine living without you.
Matthew.
I want to be with you.
Damien.
I love you.
I don't know who that is! But do you see a problem? There's a voice missing from that. There is a voice missing from that. And it bothers me. Why is Diana excluded? Love Diana. I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m. Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to go back to sleep. However, something kept me awake. Why? Well, first you gotta figure out what is keeping you awake. It's too early to even be alive. She's a high schooler. She's a freaking high schooler. She's usually up at 5 a.m. What is this shenanigans? I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 a.m. in the morning? 7 a.m. in the morning is redundant, by the way. A.M. means in the morning. Hold on, let's save. Let's do something different. Work on homework. Yeah, there we go. Got some order. I had to work on my homework. I had school tomorrow, regardless of what was happening in my life. At that moment, I wished school was over. Well, might as well get it done now. I reluctantly took my books out of my bag and sat on the floor. I made my bed into a study picnic area as I begun to work through my homework. The benefit of doing your homework in the morning? Not having to do it later. The downside? Mornings suck for trying to use your brain for anything educational. The formula for fixed costs is FC plus VC times Q equals TC. Marginal costs is total costs minus fixed costs. I felt my brain slowly starting to ramp up the flow of logical thought, speeding up the time I was working on each economic equation I had. It wasn't a matter of me being smart about anything when it came to doing homework or doing well in class, but I was quick to learn and easily retained information. Heh, if only I could learn about the boys this fast. I stopped. Did I really just compare learning about demons to learning about economics? It's 7 a.m. It's too early to be alive. Apparently, that's the thing I'm going to be repeating a lot. I shook my head and continued to work. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes. Back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring, because apparently after 3 days of chaos, Sundays is just too boring, guys. It's too much. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys, practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle, with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged, each almost masterfully. Hey! All at once, the boys looked at me, frozen in their movements. I just stood at the doorway, staring at them after my outburst. James was the first to break away from the group, stepping towards me.
Good morning. We apologize if we woke you up.
No, it's fine. I've been awake for a while now. I'm not sorry.
It's quite all right. We needed to stop anyway. We don't want to overwork Sam.
Oh, come on, I can handle more than those pity punches.
Your mind seems grateful that we've stopped.
Shut up, Damien.
Poor Damien.
Oh crap, we should probably make some lunch. I'm sure you're starving.
I can handle lunch. You all seem to be very busy training to beat Malix. I'll take care of it today.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, why not? I'm not useless. I know how to cook and do other stuff.
Well, no, I wasn't insinuating.
What he means to say is that we'd be really grateful if you could make lunch today.
It just hit me that Damien's wearing like white denim pants, and it's hideous. As I turned to the kitchen, the boys went back to training. They seemed very determined to get better and to become stronger. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Oh god, I'm remembering stuff. I'm just remembering things. Oh, the memories. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make cold cut sandwiches. That sounds easy. Because why not? There you go. I assembled simple ham sandwiches for all of us. After I poured some potato chips on the side of each... Oh. For a second I was thinking like pour it. I was thinking of a liquid and... I was thinking of like liquid on sandwiches and I was so confused. After I poured some potato chips on the side of each sandwich, I felt satisfied. Who said lunch had to be cooked? I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. Go to your room and eat. A soup sandwich? Yeah, that was like what I was thinking. I was so confused. They might be white slacks. Yeah, but let's be real. The writers probably weren't thinking of white slacks. They probably were thinking of white denim. Which, I'm sorry, doesn't look good on anybody. Except for maybe like a toddler. Gotta put one of these Oreos in my mouth. Fiber. Sawdust. Wow, they're nasty. Well, I decided against bothering them. They knew where the food was, so I went to my room instead and ate alone in my room. That was... I want to, like, do a patch for this game where I fix all the writing problems. Just make it smoother, make it cleaner, make it less redundant, make it less pretentious, make it less awkward. Basically throw every ounce of work they put into this game into the trash. I know, I'm terrible, but... Okay. I turned on my computer. We have a computer? Okay. Anyway, I turned on my computer and started to jam to music as I ate my food. As I ate, I almost choked to death because I'm jamming to my music while I'm eating my food. Now, you may be thinking, why on earth would you go to Grandfather's grave? But, the first time I played this game, we went to Grandfather's grave, and Andrew was there! So, we're gonna save. And we're gonna go to Grandpappy's grave. It was Sunday, and I felt the need to see my Grandpappy. It had been 3 days since he had been buried, and the cemetery was only a short walk away. I decided to see him. I'd love to see what the map layout for this town is, because everything seems either weirdly convenient or weirdly inconvenient distances from each other. I took my time eating and headed out to the street to walk towards the cemetery. It was a good half-hour walk, but it would be a nice stroll. A flower shop was on the way, so I could pick up flowers for his grave with the money I don't have because I don't have a job. I still felt the sting of grief run through my bones, but I knew that it would eventually fade over time. I paused my journey to the cemetery to enter the flower shop, quickly picking a bouquet from the back display case and paying. The bouquet of lilies, please. Thank you. With flowers in hand, I made my way to the large steel gates of St. Joseph's Cemetery. I entered and felt the cold shiver of death run through the air against my skin. Christ! So extra slappy. Would it always be like this? The cemetery was a final resting place. It wasn't just for mourning or sadness. It was supposed to be a place for remembrance. I sighed as I walked through the cemetery towards my grandfather's grave. Before I could reach it, though, I noticed a figure standing by the slab. Huh? Who's that? I stopped walking and tried to focus my sight to see who was standing at my grandfather's grave before I approached. I didn't want to interrupt a prayer or anything, but even more, I wanted to know who exactly was there. Somebody just came into the house. I'm shook. I hope it's not someone who wants anything to do with me because I can't tell. I'm like listening. Oh, I gotta go tell them I fed the cats. Hold on. Okay, I am here. I am returned. Okay. Did I read this line? No. My mind barely considered the idea that it was my father, but it couldn't have been him. Familiar brown hair crowned this person's head instead of the black and gray my father and James had. He was vaguely familiar, almost like we just saw him last night. Andrew? It was indeed Andrew. He was dressed in casual clothes, but he was giving his respects to my grandfather. I was curious as to why, even though that doesn't make any sense, because he just talked about him last night. And the guy died like 3 days ago, and only family was allowed at the funeral, allegedly. So, Slaffy, this really shouldn't be confusing to you. But whatever. I quietly stepped closer and approached Andrew and the grave, being careful to not scare Andrew. At my footsteps, Andrew turned to see me, and realizing it was me, turned fully to me. Oh, God. See, this is why this needs a rewrite.
Oh, Miss Anderson. I'm sorry. I'll just...
Andrew quickly shook his head and took a step to leave. You're fine. I stopped him with a hand and smiled. He was merely paying his respects. There was no need for me to intrude. Andrew stared at me before smiling and nodding, returning to his place in front of the grave. He took a side step to make room for me, so I stepped next to him. I looked to the grave, running my gaze through the engraving in the stone slab before gently laying my bouquet down by it. However, I didn't stand back up. I gently sat down on the grass in front of the grave and stared at it. Why? This writing's just not good. It's not clean. Like, shouldn't they have, like, included a patch or something at some point? This game's been out for Let's see. Let's go to store page. When did this come out? I'm looking. Developer, publisher, release date. Oh wow, it's actually not that old. It came out February 12th, 2015. Wow, I don't know why I thought this game was older. Because the first time I played it was Halloween 2016. Interesting. Oh, there's $15 worth of DLC? There's... Oh, there's an audio drama CD called Just Another Day. What would have happened if you let the boys stay and you couldn't decide which boy to like? Well, a few months after Malix is defeated, you find out. Ooh. I didn't know that was a thing. When did that come out? Released March 16th, 2016. Wow, I need to buy that. And then you can buy the soundtrack for $10, which I guess they actually composed it themselves, which actually is impressive. I just assumed it was all like royalty-free music. I might actually buy the DLC because like I think the second game sucks, but I always told everybody that it was worth buying so that you could support the people who made it. But if you could just buy the DLC for $15 and instead of buying a $10 game that sucks, then that's probably better. I had no idea it had DLC. I'm such a fake fan. Let me see if I can find the second game. It does not show the second game page, even though... can I, like, go to the developer page? Oh, wow. This Michaela Laws person, developed quite a few things. They developed Valentine Panic, Blind Love, My Lady, which is on my wish list, Remember, which I heard sucked, if it's what I think it is, A Bloody Party, which looks scary, To Trust an Incubus soundtrack. And then obviously Seduce Me 2, the Demon War demo, Seduce Me 2, the Demon War soundtrack. Wait, did they not? Okay, they did. Okay. They did develop Seduce Me 2, the Demon War. Wow, I had no idea that this person actually had like more than just this one project, which I mean shouldn't be confusing to me, but yeah, it's $10, the sequel, and I didn't like it. I've only ever played the one route, and it was really short, and I hated it. So maybe it's good with the other routes, but that is yet to be seen. It's weird how it has better overall reviews than the first one, because I think the first one is way better. That is so strange. But then again, less people have played the second one because it's $10. So yeah, there's 216 reviews for the second one. Wait a minute, that's not. Now it's saying there's 239. I'm so confused. Where are the all reviews? Okay, so there's 259 total reviews of the second one, and it doesn't seem to have any DLC. That's confusing. I'm so shook. I thought it had DLC. Whatever. The first one is free and has a total of 1,962 reviews. So I think it's safe to say more people played the first one than the second one. And the second one probably has better reception because if anybody played the first one and didn't like it, they probably didn't pick up the sequel. So... I don't know, but that's very interesting. I might have to buy this DLC just for this stream. I might do it. I don't know, should I? I'm tempted. I'm like really tempted, but like, do I really want to waste my money on $15? Well, I probably wouldn't buy the soundtrack. I'd probably just buy like the $5 CD drama, because I don't really need the soundtrack when I don't really like it that much. I mean, I'll definitely buy it when I have actual money, but I have a Steam gift card left over from Christmas that I haven't spent, because I completely forgot to check the Christmas sale. I didn't check the DLC's not on sale, no. I didn't check the I remember a couple years ago they did like a Valentine's sale, but this year they did a Lunar New Year sale, which I thought was really weird because I don't know, I think that having a Valentine's sale makes sense. You know, you get all your stupid Otomes and everything on the cheap, you know, but I guess they didn't want to do that. What's in my cart right now? Rusty Lake Paradise. I need to remove that since it's not on sale anymore. DLC doesn't really go on sale though, viewer. And I don't think they would ever release the DLC for the first one on sale because, you know, the first one's already free, so, you know, you could just get the free game and buy the $5 DLC and get a better deal than you would buying the sequel full price at $10, but now I'm like interested in like the other stuff this Michaela Laws chick has made. She published all the same stuff? No. Okay, so she didn't publish everything she developed. But I'm interested in this Valentine Panic, because, I mean, hello. Like, oh, this looks like maybe it's an older project. No, it's a newer project. Ew. It doesn't look newer. It looks older. It's a memory game? That is so weird. I have terrible memory. I probably shouldn't buy it. I know it's only 99 cents, but... I mean, it's cute, but I don't think I'll get it. Because I'm bad at memory games. Like,